Alright, that didn't take long at all. Luckily, I'm pretty close. Basically, it's in Kugani, like I assumed it would be. Let's see, Kugane. Alright, so there should be a quest somewhere. This is it? Yeah, okay. How far is that? Alright, just across the way. Conspicuously inconspicuous man. Oh yeah, people did talk about this guy. Like, he would actually be in the background of most of the cutscenes involving... Hey, you're yours in, right? An adventurer, maybe? Good at killing and whatnot. Probably. Me? Oh, I'm no good at it. I mean, other than the occasional rat, but got a job for you if you're interested. So there's this Makot girl, this incredible, beautiful, wonderful girl in this tavern, right? Come all the way from Eorzea, like you and me. So beautiful, this girl, so beautiful. Dirty Lala. But in this weird, strange place where people are bowing all the time and getting on the ground and tucking their legs under them, a young girl traveling by herself is in danger. Some bad people could trick her and take her and make her do, you know, things. Anyway, get in there and keep her safe. I'll be watching. Why don't you fucking do it if you're so goddamn concerned? But no, I just like to watch. Where is she? Gyodo. Oh no, now there's a dirty catfish after her. Just look at those eyes. Yes, I can be of service to you, my lady. I have seen this gentlemanly Eorzean you seek, yes. And I should be glad to take you to him if you like. You are ever so kind and helpful, Mr. Talking Cat. Or catfish, to be precise. Though I care not for the Eorzean. I am Gyodo, and the Mazu, and the services I provide are not free. I am sorry to say, nor are they cheap. Are you sure you can afford to pay? Oh dear, I spent my last skill on the fare to the Kugane. Is there any other way I can convince you to help? Core, if it isn't Griffin. Don't tell me you came all this way just to help little old me. You see, when Inspector Hildebrand took to the skies, I said, Nashu, you'd better not let him get away this time. And immediately began looking for ways to head as far east as I could. And you can't get much further east than the far east, right? I was worried I wouldn't be able to find him, but when you know it, Gyoza the talking Numanuma. What? Here says he knows where he is. Careful, careful, this one knows our game. Escaping her rat is going to take all our skills. I say, there's no need for such menacing glares, none whatsoever. 1,000 pardons, my lady, but I had no idea you were traveling with such esteemed company. Forget everything I said regarding the fee. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a pressing engagement. Very pressing indeed. Wait, you haven't told me where the inspector is yet. Oh, little Gyoza was trying to swindle me? Oh, Nashi, you ought to know better than that to trust a talking cat. I asked lots and lots of other people if they'd seen a gentlemanly Eorzean, but none of them were any help. Well, Inspector Hildebrand, wherever could he be? Stuck in the ground or in the side of a building as like as not. Keep an eye out for legs. Follow his keen inspector's sense and search for a case. I don't know, I guess? Although the first one is more likely than the second. Without even trying, maybe. Remember how we ended up with that snowbank right where Gigi was? It was like the fates conspired to put him in the right place at the right time. That's it. If the inspector is always on the hunt for a case, then all we've got to do is find the biggest, juiciest one we can we can and wait for him to appear. Let's go see what trouble we can turn up, eh? This way. Unsolved crimes. It just so happens that a number of properties owned by wealthy merchants have been pillaged this past fortnight. Master Akebono's shop in the Rakuza district was the most recent, as I recall. But you may be assured that the Sekisegumi will track down the thief in due time. Okay. Conspicuously inconspicuous man, what do you want? Alright, you've got me, Miss Samurai. But before you do anything rash, like arrest or torture or chop me into tiny little bits with that sword of yours, know that I never touched her. I mean, I never even had the chance. What? Oh, you're that Yorzian adventurer. I thought you looked familiar. No, I mean you. For a moment there, I thought I was done for. These sexy goomy don't mess around. I'll cut first and ask questions later, you know? No romance in their hearts, they wouldn't understand. I don't understand. What is your deal? So it's not just crimes, but big, incredible crimes you want to know about. Incidents the likes of which send ripples through time and space, through fate and destiny. I guess? It was 5 years ago, or maybe it was last week. I'm not so good with time lately. Anyway, there I was, walking Olda's bustling streets, when the sea parts and my eyes met with those of a maiden most fair, and she stole my heart. It was like 2 grains of sand in the desert looking at each other, and one of those grains knowing that it was destined to spend the rest of its life with the other grain, because she had this whole sultry scribe thing that made him so... Ever since that day, I've watched over her from afar, a silent guardian, a humble protector. Really? What are you protecting? Some might think me mad or call me a coward for refusing to speak with her, but they are fools. Fools, I say. True love is not the product of a clumsy banter, but careful study, years and years of observation, of obsession, until you know her better and she knows herself. Really? Dirty Lala. Perhaps when the time is right, I shall reveal myself to her, but until that blessed day, I shall aid her from the shadows, and you, my friend, will aid her in the light. Man, that did a lot of nothing for me. Amaji. Dastardly doings and purported instances of criminal behavior? This is Kogani, my dear. We're no charlatans of that here. But since you ask, the story of everyone's lips at the Bokaisen these days is that of the wealthiest among us and how they are being preyed upon by some sneaky thief. Perhaps they should invest in better locks. Okay. So, Nashu. Ah, there you are. Learned anything interesting? A skilled thief seems to be targeting wealthy merchants. A creepy little bastard who followed you to Kogani says he's been stalking you for 5 years. You know what? I feel duty-bound to let her know that. You're having me on. As if I wouldn't notice. Be serious now. Alright, whatever. A series of robberies committed by a mysterious thief? Well, that's just the thing. Well done, Griffin. Our next order of business should be to track down this Akebono and ask him about the latest incident. He certainly looks like a well-to-do merchant. Oh my god, that mustache looks fake as fuck. You look like a Waluigi. That fiend, that despicable rapscallion, the nerve of him to make mock of us. My thanks to you, Master Akebono, for all your help. I swear to you on my honor that the sneak thief shall be brought to justice forthwith. And with that, I bid you good day. Ah, so it is Akebono. Let's go and ask him about the robbery. You know, he's even purple like Waluigi. Yo. Forgive me, my lady. In my haste, I did not see you. Are you alright? Shall I summon a healer? Don't worry, I've taken bigger knocks to the noggin than that. Hey, you aren't one of them samurai, are you? Shiguri, at your service, my lady. Oh, you look just like that guy in the Confederate. I forgot his name. I have my sincerest apologies for the incident. Much as I would like to make amends for my reckless behavior, I fear duty compels me to take my leave. The nefarious criminal is at large, and I must bring him to justice. Alright. Go do your thing. Oh, that's all we need. Competition. Well, I'm sure Inspector Hildebrand and his faithful assistants won't lose to the likes of him. The merchant must know something important for Shiguri to go running off like that. Let's go find out what it is. Greetings and salutations, Master Akabono. My name is Nashu, Agent of Inquiries, Extraordinary Inspector. And this is Griffin, who also got a knack for it. Can you tell us about the recent robbery? Inspectors? I've heard rumors that one such as you come from the west. Now, that is one hell of a nose. Is that even an option? You seem an honest sort, so I will oblige your request. This very morning, one of my assistants found my establishment unlocked, and when he went inside to investigate, he discovered that my most prized possessions have been stolen. To make matters worse, in their place, he found this message. You have just been robbed by the Kugane wolf burglar. Huh. Wolf burglar? Surely you've heard about his recent exploits. Similar calling cards were found at the scene of the other robberies, and now I too have become a victim. A series of robberies committed by a thief with a calling card. Oh, there's no way Inspector Hildebrand's going to be able to resist the lure of this case. I thought the two of you were inspectors, but it makes no difference to me who catches the criminal, and since the Sekisegumi seem to be at a loss, you will be generously rewarded for any information that leads to the recovery of my stolen property. I wish you well in your investigation. All we've got to do now is stick with this case, and we'll be reunited with Inspector Hildebrand. I just know it. Call it my keen inspector's assistant sense. Anyway, I'm going to try and learn more about the other robberies. If you learn anything interesting, come and find me. Okay. What? What? Oh, wow. I wonder, do they do this per patch? Oh man, look at all the naked people. Of course, it's been too long since I had the chance to whip up a batch of Nashu's delights. You can be sure I'll be putting these little darlings to good use next time. Oh, and Burger, good thing I've got plenty more stashed away. Alright. Good thing I don't have to wait for next episode. Life imitates art, imitates life. You have no one but yourself or the kami to blame for what comes if you talk to Nashu Makaraka. I accept these terms. Well, if it isn't Griffin, looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, have I got news for you. So I've been asking after that wolf burglar fellow, the one that left that cheeky note claiming credit, you remember? And it seems that it's not quite as sneaky as he thinks he is. Oh, he's robbed plenty of rich merchants blind, I'll grant you that. No doubt it was him either. Never fails to leave a calling card, this one. Too proud to leave people wondering for even a moment. But folks laid eyes on him more than a few times. In fact, after talking to all the eyewitnesses, I have enough information to try and sketch a picture of the devil himself. Not a bad self-trained artiste, wouldn't you say? Nice. Maybe leave the art to the professional artists. I don't see how that helps us, honestly. Well, bleh. Not hearing a lot of support for the sketch. Right, back to the drawing board, that metaphorical one, that is. Lest you and me seek out and question the rich and the famous, the sort of folks the burglar's been targeting, and see if we can't learn something new. I'll head to Kogani Dori, and you can check out the tea house and the hostelry. Okay. Byakudan. That infamous thief. I know of him. For mercy, he has not seen fit to trouble those of lesser means, like me and my associates. Perhaps you thought me wealthy because I patronized the tea house? On the contrary, this is my sole indulgence. Were I a stronger man, I would forgo it, but alas, the heart will not be denied. Alright, that's fair. Alright. Uraki. Man, all you guys look the same. Too long has it been since I shared a pipe with an Indian. How fortunate with no desire for a smoke, only talk to the wolf burglar I see. Hey, I can deal with smoke. I'm okay. I have no personal experience on which to draw, so I doubt that I can be much assistance. What I know is known to all. But if you insist, he is a lone wolf without comrades, and despite their best efforts, the Seikis... Man, I will never learn that. The Seikisei-gumi has no leads. Some say this has emboldened the man. Each theft is more brazen than the last. He has even been witnessed practicing his trade in broad daylight, if you can believe it. This is the extent of my knowledge. Now, if you will not favor me with tales of your own, I ask that you leave me to my pipe. It is far less demanding company. Look, I can sit down and chill, alright? Just give me a chance. Preening Pundit. I say, the Kagane wolf burglar. Must you sully my ears with that rapscallion's name as I attempt to take a moment to relax and take in fresh air? But it's no use. The moment is ruined. I too fell victim to the wolf's villainy, like so many others. Oh, if you have seen the vase before you took it. Gah, if there was any justice in this world, he would be paraded through the streets and boiled alive in Tenkanto. So why are the fucking samurai having such a hard time getting him, though? To the point where he's, like, parading around in broad daylight, and I'm assuming everyone knows who he is? Ah, here you are. Pick up any interesting tidbits? So he's getting bolder by the day, is he? Well, if there's anything I've learned from following the inspector around, it's that overconfidence is liable to get you smacked upside the head by your mom and her magic frying pan. That said, we have a better chance of catching the wolf. We know who he was eyeing next. A thousand pardons, young sir. I did not mean to trample you underfoot. Are you alright? What? Hey, aren't you the samurai I bumped into the other day? Shiggity something, was it? Oh, we meet again, my lady. I say, you must think me in the habit of trampling my fellow pedestrians. Let me assure you, nothing could be further from the truth. I was simply preoccupied with thoughts of my investigation. That's right, you were after the wolf burglar too. Got any leads? As a matter of fact, I do, but I recently learned of a private auction of which many foreign wares are to be featured. While such auctions are not uncommon, Kagane, it has been some time since the wolf last struck, and there are rumors that this auction may include particularly extraordinary items. Much as I would love to converse with you at great length, I really must be going until we meet again. Wait, Mr. Shigi. Sir, can we come to the auction? If you like, but I very much doubt you'll be able to afford any of the items to be sold. Well, don't you worry about that. Griffin here's got enough money to buy and sell you 1,000 times. Don't speak for me, lady. Yes, very good. Then my old needs come with me. This venue has been reserved for the private auction. The guests should be arriving any moment now. I remember you. Master Akebono, was it? Well, if it isn't the inspectors, I did not know you would be joining us. I presume you are come to keep watch for the wolf, but should you see anything you like, know that we have money changers on hand to assist those who wish to spend foreign currency. I must warn you, however, that should we desire the same item, I am not want to surrender without a fight. Greetings and a welcome to you, the prosperous and esteemed elite. This evening you will be given a rare opportunity to view and purchase, if so inclined, a selection of strange and wondrous items from all across the world. Without further ado, I give you our first, a queer misshapen fiend captured in the mountainous wilds of Yangsha. What, a Ykronix? Oh my god. So the fabled Ratman, an unholy union of man and beast, a demon of legend whose flesh who when consumed bestows... What?! Eternal life can be yours, ladies and gentlemen, so shall we start the billing of 500,000 kobani? Man, this is bad. This isn't the kind of auction I expected it to be. 800,000 koban. Sold to Master Akebono. Let us proceed with the next item up for bidding. He's not really good at Edom, is he? The statue you're about to see was brought to Kagane from the west, the land of Iruzia, to be precise. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, statue does not even begin to describe this extraordinary work of art. I don't like how they just brought a Ykronix there and not addressed this weird... What? I give you the Eurasian gentleman, a masterpiece, nay, a triumph of Western sculpture. Marvel at the intricate details. The feature is so expertly realized that some have likened it to a living, breathing man, frozen in time. Well, would you look at that? The statue is the spitting image of Inspector Hildebrand. Could it have been sculpted by a fan? Was that a trick of the light, or did that statue just twitch? You mean to say you think it might actually be the inspector, somehow frozen by temporal magics? In that case, I've just the thing to bring him back to the land of the moving. Stay your bum-filled hand, my lady, I beg of you, lest you slaughter these poor people and bring the marketplace to ruin. I suppose you have a point. It would be very Inspector-like to blow innocents to kingdom come. How readily she resorts to violence, this woman. I shudder to think that carnage she has left in her wake. What the fuck? Oh, I knew it. That's no statue, it's a genuine article in the flesh. Probably hit his head when he fell from the sky again, or maybe he's gone into hibernation again or something. This bizarre sculpture is, in truth, a man. Is such a thing even possible? Yeah, you know what? We don't question it anymore. Strange, I do not recall it wearing an expression of sheer terror before. It was rather more serene, was it not? How very perceptive of you. Verily, this is no ordinary statue. It is a heretofore unseen hybrid of sculpture and automaton. Marvel at the way its features change fluidly and effortlessly. Yes, indeed. So, shall we start the bidding at this one-of-a-kind statue at 500,000 koban? 600. 7. 800,000 koban to be paid in full here and now. Son of a bitch. Once more, Master Akabona will not be denied. Will any challenge this claim to the Eurasian gentleman? Gotta do something, Griffin. If you don't, these people are going to buy the inspector. Just let them fucking buy it. I bid 900,000 koban. Good riddance. Bye, bitch. What's the meaning of this? By the kami, the Eurasian gentleman has vanished. You've just been robbed by the Kugane wolf burglar. That thrice damned Ani struck again. I saw him, the fiend with wolfish features. He took the statue and ran towards the short pier. Do you know what this means? Inspector Hildebrand has been stolen or kidnapped. We've got to get after that wolf burglar. For all we know, you might want to eat him like the porky kern, and we can't have that. Look, I'm really not okay with the fact that people are fucking getting beast people and then eating them. Kurt, Captain. Yes, as I said, that is what I saw. I still can't believe Inspector Hildebrand was stolen. That's got to be a first. Oh, you followed me, I presume? I've a mind to pursue the wolf burglar as well. Of course we are. He's got Inspector Hildebrand, and I'll be damned if I am going to let some two-gill thief eat him. Are you perchance referring to the Eurasian gentleman? That hideous statue? I dare say no one in the right mind would try and eat it, but nonsensical fears notwithstanding, I should be honored to work with you to catch the wolf burglar. I can't talk. This man here claims he saw him board a boat with the statue and head towards the ruby price. 'Twas a sight we will not soon forget. Never before have I seen a lupin carrying a twisted mockery of a man on his back. Never again will I expect. Too bold was the fiend this day. And seeking to claim such a conspicuous prize in broad daylight, he has left a trail we can follow. Come, let's make haste to the ruby price. That there tower just keeps on going. Oh, you mean that? Heaven on high? Surely one of the watchmen here will have seen the wolfman stone statue. Hayama. Alas, I cannot say I've seen such a thing. Since the withdrawal of Garlean forces from Doma and the Ruby Sea, there has been a significant increase in domestic traffic. Accordingly, we have been instructed to wave through smaller vessels, leaving our waters absent. Cause. This Lupin you seek probably received no more than a cursory glance. I say thank you for taking the time to explain. Pray forgive me the interruption. We shall continue our search elsewhere. The question is, where else should we search? Who has the reason to keep a close watch on these waters? Have the eyes of a hawk is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, I can see everything, but on the other hand, I can see everything. Oh, I remember you.